Greetings everyone and welcome. August the 30th, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is not an aid delivery video. This is not a news update video, but this is a critical breaking news video that is one purpose only, and that is to share that the war is very dangerous. We're learning that about 1 hour ago, Andrei Parubi was assassinated in Lviv, and you may not know that name. But Sternenko and other journalists are now coming out and giving warnings on what needs to unfold and what people of the world that stand with and are helping Ukraine should do and how they should respond. First of all, let me tell you about Andrei Parubi. He was one of the key figures on Maidan. So we go back to 2014, key leader on Maidan. He was also the speaker of the Verkhovna Rada during the time of Maidan. My partner, your friend Zhenya, knew him, met him on Maidan during that fight. And he was a person that fought for real Ukraine, independent Ukraine, true Ukraine, sovereign Ukraine. Unfortunately, today, ladies and gentlemen, he was just murdered by a delivery courier in Lviv. 7 shots fired. Here in Ukraine, people dress up. Well, it's a job. They have a uniform they wear, and they carry this big yellow box as they deliver food or even, stuff from the pharmacy or whatever, a delivery service, courier service. And just about an hour ago, this gentleman was killed in the streets of Lviv. He was shot 7 times. Sternenko then came out with an emergency warning video, and he says, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a war. And if you do not understand what is going on right now, you need to reassess. So he was speaking in Ukrainian, so I'm going to take his message to English now and get it out as quickly as possible. If you guys are helping Ukraine, please realize that Russia is very evil in what they're doing. So this was a Russian hit in Lviv, taking out the key voice of Maidan. It is a symbolic strike, but it's a very, very dangerous strike. So Sternenko and others now coming out and saying, listen, if you support Ukraine, you do things to help Ukraine, keep your information private. If you are a journalist, use wisdom in addresses, locations, finances, security teams, whatever it may be, because this war is changing. I remind you, it was just a few months ago that Sternenko himself was shot. Now we have this person killed in the streets of Lviv, and there have been many, many others, but we've not spoken about them. Russia targets. They have a hit list. And this is not here to bring fear. This is here to bring awareness, just so that people understand, yes, it's dangerous when shaheeds are flying and missiles are flying. It's dangerous on the front lines with FPV drones and artillery. But it's also dangerous for people that are openly supporting Ukraine, raising funds for the armed forces of Ukraine, raising funds to help this nation fight against Russia, donate funds. So all of those things. Now, the reason I'm sharing this message, number one, is to let you guys know a different side of the war and how dangerous it is. Secondly, Sternenko just putting this out and saying, man, we need to get this information out quickly. For those of you, and I have a lot of friends in YouTube world and in media world now that has really grown. Guys, be careful. We not only continue what we do, we increase what we do, but use your noodle. I've been dropping aid with Zhenya now for days and days. You have not seen me on YouTube. I've learned this lesson, and we've learned some things the hard way at the price of some of our friends. The aid is being dropped. The help is being given. Everything is happening. But for sure, the operational security is not a joke, and it must be key to make sure that those that do what I do, what other YouTubers do or journalists do here inside Ukraine, do it properly, do it effectively, do it wisely. I'm not afraid, and neither should you be. And for all my YouTube friends out there, don't be afraid. Just use your noodle and be wise in what you do. Be wise in how you say things. Be wise if you guys come to Ukraine. Be wise with your travel. Be wise with your information, when and how you spread it. I know there are a lot of American-speaking journalists that are inside Ukraine, and some of them I've met, some I haven't. I consider them friends. A lot of the team that works are outside of Ukraine, and then they come here as I do. And then there are others that work heavily outside of Ukraine but do such massive good things for Ukraine. Listen, they know, Russia knows, and Russia is well aware. They do not only want to destroy Ukraine, but they also want to destroy the voices that help Ukraine. As Zhenya and I were just listening to Sternenko, he was suggesting, be wise where you walk, never go alone, keep an awareness around you, have red zones in your map internally, especially here inside Ukraine. Okay, have red zones. Okay, that's a no-go zone. Have green zones that you can go to. Always work only with those you've had relationship with and trusted. Be leery of when you see groups of people. Be leery of when you see things that look or feel out of order, especially now, because the streets are so full of what we witnessed today with this dear gentleman being assassinated. And yes, assassinated by Russia. They will gloat over this because it is their way of bringing further destruction to the voice of truth, the voice of reason. So my encouragement for each and every one of you today is stand strong. This is breaking news here inside Ukraine. We're learning more and more about it. But of course, we have the news side of it. And, you know, you'll be reading about that. I'm in no place where I can do news or updates. We're rolling. We do our very best to stay secure as possible. But with that said, you'll learn more about that through those giving updates. But my suggestion is, I mean, literally, I just finished listening to Sternenko, and he says, man, anybody out there that's journalist, anybody out there, YouTubers, spread this message. Tell the team that is fighting the information war and fighting to support the Ukrainian army and Truth for Ukraine to just be careful. Pay attention, and do not let this discourage you, but let this encourage you that this man was not murdered in vain, but it will encourage us to fight stronger and smarter and wiser. And when victory and celebration comes, it will not be just a victory over some Russian military or those that help them, but it will be a victory for what is right, what is just, and what is truthful. And this is many times what President Zelensky says. We're fighting for a just end. And unfortunately, what happened today was very unjust. But we fight. So that's the update. Thank you guys. Be blessed.